Welcome back, guys. Hope you've been having a great week. So I saw this channel, Neil McCoy Ward, and he's talking about something that we actually talked about here on this channel a few days ago regarding how in the UK, they've got this new system where they have female police officers going out on jogs around the towns, around the cities. And if any men catcall these women who are police officers, even so much as simply giving them a whistle as they drive by, well, they've got other officers nearby in police cars to track those men down and reprimand them, in some cases apparently even arresting them. As the title says, 18 men arrested in the first 2 hours. The justification that they're trying to use for this is that they don't want these women harassed when they go on jogs, which is apparently something that's been happening. And while I can agree to that sentiment, I don't think women should be harassed while they're jogging. I don't view just a catcall or a whistle while someone's driving by as harassment. I view that, in my opinion, at worst as like tacky behavior, but certainly not worth all of this effort they're putting into it, especially when there are actual very serious crimes being committed in the UK that they're just not doing anything about, which we've talked at length about in other videos. You know, for example, illegal migrants being caught doing some of the worst stuff you can imagine, and the police officers not looking into that and going after the victims who have spoken out. We've talked about these things as mentioned at length already, so I'm not going to go into further detail about that in this video. Let's just play Neil's video here and see what he has to say about all this, because I am very curious.
Okay, have you seen this video clip yet?
These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us.
Right.
They're hanging out the window, guys. It's so awful. This is the worst thing going on. We definitely need to arrest our own citizens, because how dare they whistle and display somewhat tacky behavior? You know, that's just the worst thing going on in the UK right now.
Can I just say firstly here, that lady is wearing the tightest shorts imaginable. I mean, the fact they're saying that men are driving down the road, and you think of the typical men, who do you think are going to be doing this? It's your typical, I'm thinking of builders, I'm thinking of scaffolding guys, I'm thinking of construction workers, trades kind of guys. I'm thinking of that straight away. And also it says they're not friends. Interesting. Police officers.
And it's so prevalent.
And police teams are ready to intervene.
This whole thing reminds me of that, like, that meme of the anglerfish, right? It's kind of like the Finding Nemo thing, right?
The moment the officers are beeped at, followed, or shouted at, pulling people over.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still need to be addressed. And of course, the people that are...
Okay, so firstly, why do they need to be addressed? Can drop a comment below. Why do those things need to be addressed? This is what I don't really understand. Yeah. They are just taking every last little thing now, and with this 1984...
They want to address that, but they won't address certain things that certain asylum seekers are doing. We're not going to address that. Actually, if you speak about that, we're going to send the cops to your house to silence you.
Approach, and just really putting the grip onto every last thing.
Are likely to commit those kind of behaviours. You know, they may then go on to commit more serious offences.
Okay, now he's talking absolute nonsense. Where are these statistics or these reports or whatever that says that men in vans who hang out the window or honk or give a wave or a whistle or something to a woman in tight clothing, workout clothing, going for a run, commit serious offences?
Even if they gave a statistic, I don't even think I'd believe it. Like, the UK government's so suspicious. I would probably think they just made it up to try and justify what they're doing.
I think he's talking absolute nonsense there. So they're pulling people over, and 18 people have been arrested, by the way.
Surrey police pose as female joggers, arrest 18 in catcalling crackdown. As study reveals 2/3 of women runners face harassment. Could you imagine getting arrested for that?
So you know, there were 18 convictions. This is how crazy this is. This is just getting out of control now. And it's not just that. There's a lot more here.
Oh gosh. No way. They did not arrest the guy for saying you love bacon or we love bacon. You're arrested.
Why? Because I like bacon.
No way.
He's actually being arrested. Can you believe that?
Like, I mean, yeah, obviously, because I know the UK is crazy and I can see it on screen, but like, despite the fact that I believe this, part of my brain is still like, ain't no way. Like, I cannot believe this, you know? But no, real talk, I mean, I fully believe it. It's just a figure of speech. It's just that crazy that I don't want to believe it's true, but my gosh.
This is getting absolutely crazy. If you're watching from outside the UK, you're probably amazed at all the things that are happening within the United Kingdom at the moment.
He's absolutely right. Like, that's part of why I keep going back to talk about this stuff lately. It's just, it's like I just said, it's hard to believe this is going on. And I just see more and more of this crazy stuff. And thankfully, you guys have been enjoying my coverage on this stuff. And it's blowing my mind seeing it happen. So, yeah, I like talking about it and watching this stuff. It's very interesting but disturbing. And I feel bad for my UK viewers out there.
It is pretty scary, I would say. It's very worrying. And the other thing we've got to mention on the previous video here is that is actually entrapment, right? They're actually entrapping men by having these attractive police officers running in very tight clothing, shall we say. And then they're... So it's entrapment. I didn't even think...
Yeah, it's kind of going back to the like anglerfish meme thing I mentioned.
You could do that. I'm not a legal scholar, so please drop in the comments below. But how can they be arresting people for crimes? I mean, is that even a crime? I'm not entirely sure that is a crime, actually. But I did read this. It's from the Protection from Sex-Based Harassment in Public Act 2023. So this is actually something that has passed. It says an act to make provision about causing intentional harassment, alarm or distress to a person in public where the behavior is done because of that person's sex and for connected purposes. So again, here's what I find kind of worrying about that. You think now how on earth... Luckily, I'm fortunately married, but I can just imagine if I'm a single man, I'm a lot younger, and I see someone, I think they're attractive, maybe I've interacted with them once before, maybe I haven't, and I think I really like that person. Maybe I'm going to ask them if they would like to go out for a coffee with me or something like that. Would they like to go on a date with me? I mean, I don't know. I've been at the dating game for a long time. I don't know how it's done these days. That's how it happened with my wife. I asked if she wanted to come for a drink with me, and that was, and we started a friendship. I didn't know her. But here's the thing I keep thinking through when I keep hearing this. Would I do that today in the UK? And I think I'd be very hesitant to do it. I mean, I'd have to have a lot of bravery these days to do it, because if you can now be arrested for harassing someone, maybe they could call the police, because you're seeing this a lot now.
It does seem like they're defining harassment extremely loosely in these things.
People calling the police that they were offended by something, they were harassed by something. That could be something, that could be real. I feel like this is a real thing now. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
No, absolutely. Like, we're already seeing a lot of men not even wanting to ask women out outside of the UK, like even here in the States. A lot of men are just deciding it's not worth it. It's like a simple calculation, right? And I don't want to like break it down too much, but as mentioned, it's simple enough where it's like, is it worth asking her out? And for a lot of men, it could just be the fear of rejection. But others, they're like fearful about other things happening. In some cases, like maybe she lies and like calls the cops and like lies about something happening. Like, unfortunately, a lot of men worry about this. But in the UK, it seems like those worries are compounded even more when you have like literal legislation like this that can get people arrested.
Was another video.
And so ultimately, the point being that calculation ends up with most men, deciding it's not worth it, so they're not pursuing these things anymore.
Doing the rounds this week.
No, you run for arrest.
This girl got arrested, 15-year-old, I
In the UK,
believe.
a schoolgirl was reportedly arrested simply for going into McDonald's after 5 p.m.
So again, I
What?
don't have the full details here, but this is what all the media is reporting on. That there was some sort of a curfew for under 16s. They weren't allowed into this McDonald's during this time after 5 p.m. So she was arrested by the police and processed for buying a McDonald's after 5 p.m. Again, this can only happen
A
in
15-year-old, they really couldn't have just like warned her. I mean, like, despite the whole curfew itself being something I would question, I don't have enough information on that right now. But let's just, for argument's sake, go along with it and, like, you know, whatever. Okay. Even despite the curfew, could they not have just been like, hey, you know, we got the curfew going, like, you got to get home, right? So they're like dragging her and arresting her.
the UK. Now, I don't know all the facts behind the story. Maybe there was more to it. Maybe she caused a disturbance. Maybe she didn't. Maybe it's completely true what they're saying. But the point is that things are getting wild, and they've been getting wild for a long time. Another funny story I saw this week was...
There's a whole culture nowadays, also in the States, here in the US, of just like calling the police way too easily nowadays. Like, before my time, I at least heard that people used to try and resolve their problems without the police involvement. But nowadays, people are so quick to just go and dial the cops up at the slightest thing.
This just came out, was a protester arrested over plasticine action t-shirt. The police arrested him because they thought he was actually doing a play on words for Palestine.
Oh my gosh, bro. I'm literally facepalming.
Action, when actually it really was plasticine action. Is, I believe, something to do with the AI industry. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm not familiar with like that word, actually, plasticine. I'll have to look that up after I watch this.
What it is. It's something to do with animation in the AI, or AI in the animation industry. But either way, this is the ridiculousness now of everything going on. And do you remember this story from earlier in the year? Look how many police are in this scene here, and how many cars actually turned up to arrest Maxie Allen and Rosalind Levine over what they had said in a WhatsApp group. I mean, this stuff is just crazy. And I was looking over another article today. It says UK free speech crackdown.
How'd they even see it, though, right? Isn't WhatsApp one of those encrypted platforms that some of these countries, like the UK and Australia, are trying to get? I think actually the EU, excuse me, this was the EU one too, wasn't it? Yeah, I was conflating those with the EU. I mean, there's so much similarities going on. But yeah, it was the EU trying to get access to platforms that have encrypted messaging so they can see what those messages are before the encryption actually applies to them and whatnot. So, like, did someone rat out those people in WhatsApp? I don't know what was said or anything. I'm just kind of like speculating, and it's interesting. I don't know. It's crazy stuff.
Up to 30 people a day now arrested for offences such as retweets and cartoons. I did not know that cartoons
Retweets and cartoons
now fell under this new act.
Yeah, like the offensive memes I've heard people getting arrested about in the UK too.
New crackdown. So I will definitely not be reposting any cartoons or any of these sort of funny jokes.
I mean, sorry to keep interrupting, but like at this rate, it seems like if things keep proliferating to this extent in the UK, that at some point down the road, a few years from now or something, even a guy like this having a show like this, they'd come after him and shut this guy down or something.
If now there's up to 2 years prison, it says 2 years prison now if you repost something that can be considered offensive. So yeah, 30, it's official. This is from the UK stats here. 30 people a day are now getting arrested for speech crimes. Thought crimes, actually, is what they are. And it says they're expecting around 12,000 prosecutions per year now for these thought crimes. I mean, this goes on and on. This is just full of all of these different thought crimes and everything going on.
So yeah, there's the video, once again, by Neil McCoy Ward. I will link the video in the description. And yeah, disturbing stuff going on, though, for sure. Crazy times we're in. Ladies and gentlemen, be safe out there. And let me know what y'all think about this. Thank you for tuning in. Consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed my coverage. Appreciate ya. See you in the comments and in the next one.